parents can teach their children. These are simple, practical, and they can transform the way kids connect with books.
Hello everyone, welcome back to BWB, and today we are talking about something every parent thinks about: how to nurture strong reading and writing habits in children. In a world full of distractions and screens, we all think, right, as like how to bring back children to books. So we are here with some amazing ideas that we will explore, and you will enjoy the tips from us. So parents, here we are with some amazing ideas to raise curious readers and confident little ones. So let's go and see what practical and heartwarming strategies we have come up with for your child to grow a lifelong love for stories. Over to you, Jasbir, for more insights for of these strategies.
Thank you, Shritapa. Reading is one of the most beautiful habits that we can cultivate in our children. And it seems simple if you start early. The earlier, the better. And I remember that when my daughter was around 3 years old, I used to read out all these picture books. I used to read out every night to her. So, how do you select a book for your child? As simple as this, it has to be age appropriate. If your child is a toddler, you get these touch and feel books with amazing animations on them, and that attracts because for a small child, it's about visual, it's about the pictures. And if you read it out with expression, the child can relate to those particular characters. As your child grows older, maybe when the child is 6 or 7 years old, you can shift to possibly children's books by Enid Blyton. The age old books that we've all read when we were children, they still are very helpful for developing the reading habit. And as they grow older, obviously they'll move to maybe thrillers and all these books by Agatha Christie. There is a whole lot of books that is it's like a plethora. It's a Pandora's box, and we should help them discover this habit of reading. And obviously, the most important thing is never force any kind of particular author. For instance, I enjoy reading Ayn Rand, but my teenage daughter now is 16. She's not yet ready for it, and possibly that's not what she enjoys. So, first, we have to look at the likes and dislikes of every child and then decide the kind of books that we can suggest to them. Then comes when to read. There are two times of the day when we are relatively relaxed and we can actually focus on the reading. So, one is early morning and one is late at night, just at bedtime. So it depends, some children are early risers, some are those who sleep late in the night. So depending on your child and the child's preferences, whenever they are more interested, it's a good time to help them read at least 20 minutes a day. But the most important factor is consistency. A daily habit is possible only if this is done consistently. So if we read as adults at a particular time, our children observe and follow suit. So that's the whole point. Be consistent and keep reading. So now over to Dr. Geeta for her insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasbir. Thank you for those amazing tips. Hope you will be utilizing it and making your reading very enjoyable. And viewers, have you ever wondered what truly shapes a child into a lifelong reader? Not just someone who can read, but someone who loves reading, feels it, and grows with it. So today I want to share two powerful habits that parents can teach their children. These are simple, practical, and they can transform the way kids connect with books. So tip one, visualize as you read. Teach your child to build a movie in their mind. Yes. When you sit with your child and open a book, pause once in a while and ask them a gentle question. Can you see the scene in your mind? What do you imagine the character looks like? What color is the sky in this part of the story? How does the character feel right now? So encourage them to picture the world inside the book, the places, the emotions, the voices, the smells, and the tiny details. Kids have a natural gift for imagination and they just need the invitation to use it. So when children visualize as they read, something magical happens. The words stop being flat. Characters feel real. And it helps understand the children to understand not just what is happening, but why it is happening. If your child struggles to visualize, turn it into a playful activity. Ask them to draw a character after reading a page. Ask them to act out a moment from the story for 10 seconds. You are not just nurturing reading, you are teaching imagination, empathy, and expression. And that is the foundation of real reading joy. Tip number two, mix the reading types, show them the power of variety. One of the biggest gifts you can give a young reader is range. Most children gravitate towards one favorite type of book, maybe fantasy, maybe comics, maybe a chapter story they read again and again. And there is nothing wrong with that. But there is a whole world waiting to be discovered beyond that one genre. So here is one simple rule: alternate what they read. Let them enjoy fiction, but also introduce them to biographies. Bring in short educational books that spark curiosity about space, animals, history, inventions. Add stories from different cultures and simple real life accounts of brave people, kind people, creative people. So when you mix reading types, something powerful happens. Fiction stretches the imagination, while biographies show courage and resilience, and educational books feed curiosity. So each type strengthens a different part of the mind. You can make this fun and not feel like a homework, all right? So create a reading basket with different genres and let your child pick one for each week. So kids love that kind of empowerment. This variety keeps their mind active, flexible, and hungry for knowledge. It broadens their perspective to see the life from many angles. And remember, kids learn by watching. When they see you pick up a different type of a book, they naturally follow. So these two habits, visualizing the story and mixing reading types, can shape your child's reading journey in ways that stay with them for life. They build imagination, curiosity, emotional strength, and help the children see the not only the words but to understand the world also. And I want to leave you with a beautiful quote from the author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling. So she said, I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. So show that magic to your child. Teach them to feel it and watch their mind open in ways you never imagined. So, Siddharth, what tips you want to share? Please go ahead.
Oh, they are wonderful, whatever you shared, just we shared before that. And it's amazing to know, that there are so many ways to actually excite kids towards reading. Reading is such a beautiful habit, like you said, it can actually create magic. I can quickly talk about two tips from my end, and I love them because they bring that child in me. This Children's Day, I'm like so happy talking about these because creating an environment for reading is also very important for kids. And imagine like if I had a basket of toys which represented the characters from Jungle Book. I have the Wolfie Wool, the Neela, and I have Sher Khan. I have the Panther, Black Panther, and Mowgli himself. And these characters are lively, and the kid can actually feel them while they are reading Jungle Book. Or if the Robinson Crusoe story, which we were talking about earlier in our series, we can bring out the shapes, we can bring out those hearts, we can create some, matchstick houses, who knows? Those kind of creativity can actually bring in so much imagination into the child's mind that while they are reading, they can create a fan fiction of that book. Who knows? And that can be like, who knows, a bestseller again. You're a 5-year-old creating something out of a age-old book, and that becomes a fan fiction hit novel on the world's platform. That will be an amazing thing to happen. So one of this is basically creating this cozy environment where you can actually feel the characters. You can have toys around the kid. or the lighting or the cloud-like feeling, all that you can bring in so that the kid reads more. That is first tip. Second tip is about having a art book or a reading journal next to them, so that when they are reading it, they are also maybe drawing about it. Maybe they are thinking about it in deep, or they are taking out certain thought elements from there. They can put some quotes of their own, what they understood from the book. This will help in retaining the information they got from the book, and that memory retention part of them will improve over a period of time. Like I remember when I used to read books, I had my diary, and most of my poems which I have written in my childhood have come from books which I have read, and I'm keeping a diary. And when I was reading certain notes, I got into some flow, and that flow gave me those words, and I those words I jot down in my book. I have also put some quotes from those books, my favorite ones. So this basically helps in memory retention and also in understanding what they are reading, and you bringing those feelings and emotions, the curiosity into the kids while they are reading and while they are exploring the book. They can also share this with others because they have a reading journal. When they go to the school next day, they can actually talk about, yes, what I read last night. So that brings more joy to them while they share it, and can also help in they becoming the focal point of some discussion, because they now know a story very well. They can actually spread the positivity from that story to some other kids of their own group. So that is how I think the two tips which help. One, have a cozy environment with the characters of the book in that part of the house where you actually are asking your kids to read, and you help as a parent help them read that. And the other one is having that reading journal, art book where they can sketch and they can feel more about what they read. Over to you, Sujata. Do share your insights as well.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Siddharth. And it was awesome listening to so many tips all of you have given. Now, I think parents and teachers and all those who are watching this session, you would know that it's not so difficult as we think to nurture reading and writing habits in children. I have two tips more for you. Now, the thing is that you ask questions while reading. During my profession, also, I've always asked people, why don't you ask questions? Because reading becomes magical when we turn it into a conversation, not just a test, not just a lecture, which children find boring, but curiosity is shared between parent and child, between teacher and child. Simple questions like, why do you think this character behaved this way? What would you have done? What do you think happens next? Now, just a simple example I'm giving you from Harry Potter. While reading Harry Potter, you might pause and ask, why do you think Hermione always knows so much? A child may answer, because she reads a lot. So you see, this is your soft moment to smile and say, yes, books quietly make us stronger. Or ask, if you were Harry, would you go into the Forbidden Forest? Most children, you know what, you can expect what they would answer. Yes, because they love adventure. And then you can see, ah, I like how brave you are and thoughtful too. So you made that reading by after they might have read the book before, but you can ask them questions later. Now, another, like in the story of the lion and the rabbit from the Panchatantra, you can ask, was the rabbit clever or simply patient? The children begin to see characters as people, real people, not just cartoons. While telling the story of Karna and Arjun, you can ask, what do you admire in each of them? So there are no wrong answers, only deeper thinking. So when we ask children what they think, we also teach them to connect with their thoughts and to know that their thoughts matter. My second tip is connect books with real life. Children learn values not when we preach, but when stories gently echo into their everyday life. After reading a book, let it continue in conversation during a walk, over dinner, or even while parking, or even packing your school bag, the child's school bag. For example, after reading about Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione's friendship, you can ask, what makes a good friend in real life? So children begin to see kindness, loyalty, not as big words, but as everyday choices. If you've read The Tortoise and the Hare, uh, and your child rushes through homework one day, you can say with a smile, slow and steady, remember? They immediately connect the lesson with the story, and you have done it without any scolding. After a story about Yudhishthir's honesty, you can ask, is it always easy to tell the truth? So these conversations, they stay with the children for years. They don't forget them. And children, they watch everything. They're very good observers. Everything they watch is done very minutely and it registers in their brains. So if you tell a friend, I've been reading this wonderful book, they quietly absorb that reading is good, reading is pleasurable, even adults treasure it. So books become a part of the home atmosphere like music or prayer. So these are my two simple tips. Ask gentle questions uh, related to the books they've been reading and connect stories with real life. So they absorb values naturally without lectures. And reading becomes warm, interactive, and woven into daily life. So now over to you, Shritapa, to share your tips.
Thank you,
Hello,
Sujata.
Shritapa.
And I'm sure people have listened so many options by now. But to add in, so before I conclude, there has to be something fun with the learning, and I bring in those two ideas for you. So why don't you swap the storytelling? So you give more power to the child once a week. The child narrates the story, read alouds to the parents, and parents will ask fun questions to the child, and he needs to answer. So that way he will feel more empowered that yes, I am telling the story, these are my students, and they are supposed to ask questions from the story, are they listening me? And in this process they can do what is, they can tell their own story. They need not follow any book. It can come straight from heart, and they can create their story. Yes, the crocodile can eat cake, and the body can be an elephant. It can be anything. It can be human, it can be animal, and they can do whatever together, and the parent is supposed to listen their story and ask fun questions. So weekly once, if they do so, they are getting more engaged, they are enjoying rather than feeling a forced study. And then with your questions being very wisely put, you are actually giving them the bulb on moment that okay, this is good, this is how it should be. Oh, this is something I need to focus on. Oh, this was one thing which they are asking, that can be an important thing which they will think, definitely they will think, and they'll discuss with their friends. You know what, I asked this to my mom and she said this. You know what, my dad said this. And that goes on within their circle, and it helps them grow, it helps them learn faster, remember faster. And one more thing, as a second tip for games, is like you will have everywhere in the kitchen or in the garden, do some words, do some word, pick up something from your home, a word, one word, and then as a family you try to create story with that word. That's a fun game. So with one word, create a story. And then you can compete like, okay, we have got in a month, we have collected these many words. Let's create a story with all those words. And you see, they will start loving this kind of family, story. And you can, when he is narrating the story in tip one, you can create some small reels also as your family story reels, family story libraries, which you can later on, or you as a parent will love watching how your child grew, reading stories to you all, and he himself will love seeing himself narrating stories to his parents as a child. Such a fun thing. as a memory also. So, and when you do, second tip was pick any word. That way, he will build vocabulary along with story, along with communication. He's also building his writing skills, because then you will ask him to write one, two lines on those words as a story. So that actually builds his reading and writing habit and memory, because he's now thinking, imagination, everything is coming in picture. So tip one and two, gamify the ideas and implement. I'm sure they will love it. And that reel thing, it's on. Everyone is on Insta, everyone is on this. So you can have your own YouTube family, short story libraries for your memory. So that's all for today. So these are for some amazing tips from us as a BWB team. Hope you all loved it, and go implement and let us know in the comments below which one did you implement and how did your child react to it. Was there any change? Did he love it? We will be loving to listen from y'all, and let us know what worked for y'all. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.